No.
Well,
How long do I awkwardly wait?
are you asking me?
Yeah, I don't know. It's good enough.
Yeah, we started up.
All right. Hey, look, see, I should have waited 30 more seconds. Hey, well, welcome everyone, to the Newburyport Historical Commission meeting, Thursday, March 27th, I believe, 2025. Being held here in the boardroom of the Newburyport Senior Center and remotely via Zoom. And please be aware that like this meeting, like any other city meeting, is being recorded. So I'll start with roll call alphabetically here. Andrew Bernhardt.
I'm here.
Excellent. Mark Sandrone. Is he online?
No.
Nope. All right. Scott Clark. Nope. Christopher Fay.
Here.
Thank you. Alan Marquis. Not. Ed Neumann.
Here.
Thank you. And Glenn not online. All right. And Vice Chair Sautel.
Present.
Thank you. And the chair, myself, the Klaus, present as well. Caitlin Sullivan is here. Gretchen Choi will be here shortly. If public comment is warranted, I will explain the procedure when it comes to that point. And I guess first on our agenda is the demolition delay for 10 Johnson Street. Do I have? Well, yes. Huh? Sit up here and give your name and address for the record, please.
Sure, Attorney Robert G. Peterson, 314 Main Street, Wilmington, Mass. 01887. I'm here this evening on behalf of the applicant, Madison Real Estate Group LLC, and its principal, Mr. Kevin Giles. 5 Whitney Street, Saugus.
Great. So we're going to first consider both the historical significance and the preservation worthiness. So if you want to just start by discussing the property and any of the kind of historic.
Sure. So the property currently contains a colonial revival style single-family dwelling built on or around 1935. It's a 2.5-story wood frame structure with vinyl siding. It is currently 28 feet 8 inches in height as measured from the average grade of the roof. The home currently consists of a gross living area of 1,244 square feet and an uninhabitable attic. The roof as currently constituted does not include what's known as a ridge beam, which is a major concern for structural integrity of the property. It is currently vacant and in a state of extreme disrepair. It's been vacant for about 2 years. A symmetrical, balanced design home. When built, this type of home sought to revive elements of the American colonial architecture. And during its time of construction, this type of home represented approximately 40% of the homes being built in the United States.
Do you have any, you want to discuss any of the historical, the age of the home or any of that?
So other than the fact that it's showing dated construction being on or about 1925, and the nature and style of the home being the colonial revival, the only thing I could add to that is some aspect of colonial revival, it being they had decorative elements as with no single combination. They had things such as gable hips or gambrel roofs, broken pediments, symmetrical facades, double hung windows with shutters, stuff along that lines, which is what my client seeks to keep, even if granted the permissions to raise the roof to the requested amount and to put the 2 dormer sides on the home.
Okay. I guess, first, is there any discussion from the commission on the structure itself? Questions? Well, I guess I will take a motion to determine the structure at 10 Johnson Street is historically significant.
I hate so sad.
And a second.
Sorry.
Ed? All right, one moment. All right, so we're voting that the motion is, the structure is 10 Johnson Street is historically significant. Start with Andrew.
Yes.
Chris Fay,
Yes.
Ed Neumer,
Yes.
Chris Sutton. Yes. And I vote yes as well, so the motion passes. I guess, we might as well, entertain a motion also to find the structure 10 Johnson Street is preferably preserved, unless anyone has any further discussion. Someone want to give me that motion?
I'll make that motion as presented.
All right, thank you. That was Chris Sutton. And a second?
Andrew.
All right. I'll go around again. Andrew
Yes.
and Chris Fay
Yes.
and Ed Normer,
Yes.
Chris Sutton,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes as well. That means the motion passes, and technically, the structure's now currently under the 1-year general delay, until we review your proposed demo. Is this a point we'd want to entertain any kind of public comment, or should that wait until?
Usually it's after the plans have been presented.
Okay. All right, yeah, so if you want to go ahead and present the demolition plan.
Sure, so demolition plan, so the proposal for this home, the applicant seeks to increase the roof line by 1 foot 3 inches from 28 feet 8 inches to 30 feet 1 inch as measured from the average grade of the roof. The applicant further seeks to create dormers on each side of the roof to create a symmetrical roofscape in keeping with the style of colonial revival, which is the period in which the home was built. The addition of the dormers will allow for the creation of 480 square feet of livable space and thus allowing for ceiling heights of 8 feet, which would be the preferred ceiling height, which is why we're seeking to go up the additional 1 foot 3 inches, as well as adding the ridge beam at the top of the roof to make it more structurally sound. As you can see here, it just shows the what the home will look like. There was the original or as it sits today, and right there you can see the top right hand corner will be with those dormers on each side being symmetrical and in keeping with colonial revival of symmetrical architecture.
All right, anything else, or? Okay.
Do you have pictures of the neighbors or?
Yeah, so we have pictures, if you go back into the we supplied pictures of what it looks like currently from the street. You can scroll down. That's looking out into the neighbor's yard right there.
That's the side view.
That's a side view, correct? And you can keep scrolling down. There's another side view.
That's the same as the first picture.
Yep. And it's just pictures of a home. And you can see how that's the street view in the front of the house.
Okay.
The owner is the estate of Norma Kathleen Chazen. We were actually supposed to have closed on this property prior to this meeting, but there was a title issue. The estate needed a license to sell, and they got it. The only problem was they got it for another piece of property in Newburyport. So they actually issued for a house down the street. So when I was doing the title review to go to closing 2 weeks ago, it was a no dice from my title company, obviously. So we weren't gonna be conveyed the property that we're looking to buy.
Okay.
So right now, we do have the correct issued license to sell from Essex Probate Court. I will be closing on this property next Wednesday.
Any other comments?
I just have a question about the dormer. So you're saying the dormer, putting these dormers on be consistent with how homes, these kind of homes were built in the 20s and 30s?
So, no, what I'm saying about the symmetrical design is, so the colonial revival, like one of the peak or one of the tenets of that would be symmetry, right? So the dormers on both sides would keep up with that colonial revival symmetry on each side.
I'd almost think that in keeping more with it, it would be separate dormers, instead of one large kind of shed dormer. But I'm sure that would take away a lot of the space that you're trying to
Yeah.
create from there, so I understand that.
And the dormers, the dormers are symmetrical, in that upper right hand picture. They just look, to me, they look.
Yes, correct. It does look a little skewed from here, but they are gonna be symmetrical on each side, correct?
And the reason really for the roof line, the peak being lifted is that for adding this extra support, or is it?
It's gonna have two functions. We're gonna add the support either way.
Mhm.
But, because it would be best for structural integrity, but that's going to allow us to get the 8-foot ceilings. Otherwise, you could put the dormer on without that, but you would be left with the 7-foot ceiling.
7.6.
7.6.
7.6 and change. Still have a little space, but a little bit less than desired. Sure.
You mentioned the vinyl siding
Currently vinyl siding, correct?
and that it will continue.
Yes. Yeah.
Actually, what we're looking at is, it's a composite piece, a cedar impression. And I'm sure you guys are used to this. It looks like a shingle. You really can't see it in that. Maybe you.
You can see it.
I have an actual picture, but I like that. This person.
So vinyl siding's gonna come on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be new, that, the existing vinyl siding is coming off, so right, I probably misunderstood your question, it's coming off, we're gonna be putting on a new composite siding. That will look, you can kind of see it if you pass that around, it would be, they kind of look like shingles.
I think it's a little bit different on these. You guys, if you don't mind me.
Sure.
I have 3, sorry.
Okay.
And I think you can see what the shingles in here.
Sort of faux like cedar type shingle.
Yeah, yes, correct.
Yeah. Anyone else on the board have any questions?
There is not, there will be, the corn beads that were coming through, they're gonna be using also soffits. And some of the appointments that will be in there will be wood, yes.
But the shingles that you're gonna put on are
They're a composite piece.
some wood in there?
No, I'd be lying to you if I told you no, there isn't.
Plastic. If
Um,
we say composite, like composite of everything.
yeah,
Could be
pretty
old
much.
tires or,
Well, it's not old tires, it's.
there's just an opportunity to put, I think, wood, if I'm reading the room correctly, but.
Yeah.
It's just a suggestion.
I have a question. I see that, the idea is to have the roof line up, 1 foot 3 inches. I guess would be the cover letter, it said approximately between, was it 2 and 3 feet? On the opening letter for the construction of this. So do you see it going any higher than 1 foot 3 inches?
I do not, not necessary.
All right.
I believe it's 1 point, it's 18 inches, and that's where I see it on 16 inches. I think you might have spoken
28 to 31.
28 to 31. I thought it was 8. We went for 18 inches originally.
The roof currently is 28.8 and the proposed is 30 feet 1 inch. Which is.
Hmm.
Which is the 1 foot 3 inches.
Okay. 12 inches is what's needed to attain the 8-foot ceiling, so we'd have extra, so we can have supports with the cross members.
Well, if the board doesn't have any more questions, I'll open up to public comment if there's anyone here online.
May I ask a question?
Yes,
Thank you.
yeah. You can get-
Stand up or?
Yeah, wherever, and just give your name and
Yeah,
address.
I'm Don Nelson. We're immediate neighbors, number 12 Johnson. And I think my wife, was.
Yeah, yes,
I think
I
you know.
spoke with her.
Yeah, and you know, in fairness, the place is really in very, very, very bad shape. Norma died. We were in there a lot helping her.
Mhm.
And so certainly the attic that is gonna be involved in the renovation, I mean, it is a horror show. So, you know, so it's probably good that something's being done. Is it possible for us or other people to get those renderings? So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Well, yeah, these are all on the city website. If you go in and find tonight's meeting,
Yeah.
through that, you'll.
we're terrible at that.
You can have,
Well, yeah, our grandkids are over tonight, so they can.
Or you can send us an email and we can probably send you that, links to that or whatever.
Yeah, if I get a link or whatever.
we have an extra copy.
We have an extra
Oh, that's great.
Take these,
Yeah, thank you
I
so much.
actually knocked on the door a couple of times and
Oh, thanks.
tried to get into it. I know you guys were going away when I had spoken to
Yeah.
your wife and she was turning on the driveway. But
So-
you're welcome to a set of these.
It's pretty much guaranteed that the height will not be extended above that 1.5 feet. And
Absolutely not.
That's it. And is there any estimate on how long your renovation might take you? Because we know these get noisy, but we understand.
Well, it depends on here, but from the start to the finish, by the time we're finished on the outside.
Yep.
We're looking between 60 and 90 days, probably a little bit sooner.
We heard that with our renovation 2 years later.
Yeah, but it's my crew. So it's my crew that's gonna be there and time is money with us. So believe me, we're gonna try to do this quickly
Great.
as possible.
Great.
And again, we're also gonna take into consideration time. We're not gonna start at 5 AM. You know, we'll work with you guys if, you know, there's an issue.
Yeah.
Spoke to the people to, right, try to send something out, but, I wanna talk to you before.
Yeah, they're even closer than we are. The house faces us. So.
Correct.
Yeah, so yeah, if I can get the renderings.
Absolutely.
we would be thrilled.
I'm more than happy to do this now.
All right, thank
for
you.
hearing me.
This project will also have to go before the zoning board of
Thank you.
appeals, probably in April.
Heaven?
Yes.
Good.
Anyone else here, wants to comment? No? All right.
Before we take a vote, can I ask my fellow commissioners, you know, I have issues with
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
can you talk me into it? Cause I hear that the house, I have issues with the dormers. And I know the house, I'm hearing that the house is in rough shape, but it needs to be rehabilitated, and we have a closing, and so. I gotta go home and be able to sleep tonight. Is there a reason that I should?
I look at it as that, it's better than it totally being knocked down, and we have a white mansion, you know, up in the sky. I also have. It's not like a neighborhood like downtown Newburyport where everything is close together. And if the neighbors don't seem to mind.
Neighbors don't mind dormers?
Again, depending on my original concern, was this gonna be a 3 or 4 foot height addition, and then it would be difficult to control once it started. But if it's within the range that they're talking about, and quite honestly, again, they had a leak after Norma passed. They had a leak and it leaked everywhere inside the wall, so it's all mold in there. So it needs to be done.
Yeah.
And he's not paying me.
I know. Thank you. There's still one more board to go.
But.
There's still one more board.
Well, I'm
to
trying to-
go.
No, I think you guys are being cautious about it because we've seen this, you know,
Thank you.
yeah.
So, Chris, to your point, I strongly agree with Andrew, there's nothing worse than you see these tear downs and these things that go in that are into an older neighborhood that just, I think, really kind of ruin the streetscape and all that, so it's sort of, it's not that, oh, this is a wonderful thing to do, it's the alternative might be awful.
Like that side of the street. Most of that side of the street is. Not like the other side of the street.
Yeah, So,
Trying to say.
I've had discussions about this before, and I think, I once had someone characterize it, it was a builder, so take that for what it's worth. But as it was characterized by this one builder, and it wasn't Kevin, you're taking a structure that was built in the thirties and you're building it out while maintaining kind of the character of what's there. You're allowing it to kind of fit what the people in 2025 need for their living
Yeah.
space. And
Yeah,
like it or otherwise, the dormers make this house kind of livable for 2025. It's gonna create a 400, some odd square feet for a primary suite, as they call them now, whatever iteration you wanna call it. But it allows you to maintain the historical structure as it sits, but it allows somebody in 2025 with a family or otherwise to move in there.
And
So I
hopefully
understand.
remains a single family.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that, partially the setting of it, I mean, it's, you know, driving down the street, it's not one that stands out, in a good or bad way, it's just, it's very secluded. I assume in the renovations and everything, some of that, the landscaping and the walkways or whatever might be improved as well. So I think like all of that in a whole is an improvement. I agree, and we tend to just let these rules get changed, and it's kind of what we're here to stop. And our core mission should be that as the people that have owned this house try to do something that doesn't require making those changes to the structure. So I think in order to kind of get past that burden, I guess, to me, it needs to be appropriate enough in scale and size and whatnot, and also, not changing the look of it. And I don't think it's doing that, and I don't think there's enough stylistically about the house as it is that you would be losing or adding to. I mean, I would like to see real wood shingles on it rather than composite. I'd like to see that for everybody doing that. I just don't like the idea of putting more plastics out in the world, but I understand the benefits of it, and it's maintenance wise and cost wise, it's gonna make a lot more sense, but.
for me, it's always trying to be a balance between, like you said, 21st century living, but as our friend Malcolm would say, 18th century English seaport. And then 21st century living doesn't always have to happen in Newburyport, there's plenty of other places that you could go so that you buy into I don't know what the word would be, but you buy into like a covenant to some degree with how we modify our 21st century needs for yoga rooms and bonus rooms and luxury suites and whatever else it is with, if this was 200 years old, it would be a different story, I think, for me, but.
Yeah, and I understand it as far as the dormers go, like you could theoretically put the dormers on without raising the roof line, it would create a room that it would be almost claustrophobic.
And so, and you'd have to put collar ties across there as well, and it would still be put a ridge beam, even if we maintain it at the same level, just for construction purposes, but there'd be collar ties going across, and they'd be exposed at that height. It just, for us as a builder, it makes sense. This is my first project that I've done in Newburyport. We've got a couple other projects that we've done in here. Some of them were tear downs, we put them back together. I think we met with you guys. Probably about 5-6 years ago, we did 9 Buck Street. It was a brick building, we took and refurbished the front door as requested, we brought it back to sound, we took off, so I guess they added some type of an awning, they tried to call it a cupola, we took that over, we painted all the brick, brought the windows back, there was an arch to them. I think I even have a copy of it, but I thought I submitted to some of these.
I got a picture of it.
Right there, there it is.
Yeah, 9 Buck Street.
One of the projects that we did, again, it's given up a 4 and out, so you guys can take a look at. what we did to the front of the building and how we maintain the front door and on it back, so. And it's always that balance between economics and, trying to keep the integrity to the landscape, so, and we're willing to work and take some suggestions there.
And I think to the gentleman, the abutter, the reason, so 35 feet would be the maximum height in that zone, and, there would be no need to ever go that high, because the one, 1 foot 3 inches, give or take, it's 1 foot 3 inches, but that's what is the minimum required to get that space to be, livable.
Any other discussion, questions?
One of the questions, I guess, from the drawings, it's hard to tell, but are you extending beyond the footprint of the house itself to the sides and stuff like that?
We're actually coming in 18 inches on both sides as we come back, and then from the back lot line, it's 3 feet 6 inches, and the front lot line, it's 3 feet 6 inches.
So that existing roof actually bumps out as well? Like
No.
your drawings do?
Nothing goes over the current footprint of the building, nothing extends, it moves in. I can show you there or here.
I think it shows up here.
Is it okay if I step up here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great, thank you. So if you notice, we're coming here, this is the gable end at this point.
Yeah.
We're coming back 3 feet 6 inches here, 3 feet 6 inches here. From here, 1 foot 6 inches and 1 foot 6 inches here. So everything, if you were looking above this, you would actually see here to here, and same thing on this side would be coming in. So it's actually a smaller footprint within inside of the roof line. Thank you.
Well, all right, if anyone wanted to make any suggestions or additions to what they proposed or any amendments to it, otherwise I'd take a motion to approve the demo plans as presented.
I make a motion.
Right? Andrew, and that was Ed, second that. All right, so the motion is to approve the review demo plans for the structure 10 Johnson Street and let the demo delay. Andrew Bernhardt,
Yes.
Christopher Fick,
Yes.
Ed Neumer,
Yes.
and Chris Littell. Yes. And I vote yes as well, so that's affirmative and motion is passed. And then we'll, delay has been lifted, so you can now go on to the ZBA. Perfect, I guess or whatever your next step is.
Thank you very much. Quick question for you, we didn't address it, but the windows, you drive around Newburyport. We're recommending that we're gonna put buttons inside the windows. 6/6, 2/1, what is preferred on this board?
6/6 for a colonial revival, absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
And these are like simulated divide lights.
correct.
Yeah, okay.
So 6/6, I will also do that as well.
Oh, Right, great,
Thank you.
You have one delivered to my office this morning, so I know you mean that. Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be okay, Chris? You feel good?
Half of me.
Sounded like it was a reluctant, yeah.
It's reluctant, yeah, but it's a big move.
So I have
Years.
I have a quick little historical observation for you guys.
You give me permission to do it?
Colonial revivals.
Hey, hold on. I need my gavel again.
Yeah, Red Sox won today, so.
Oh, cool.
Better, but.
Oh, that's why.
And in the nines,
In the ninth.
we're set.
Two home runs. William Ray is leading the league.
I'm gonna watch how we might be able to try to steal it.
It's better be in the minutes. I'm assuming we have no updates. No, okay. I don't either. Everyone had a chance to look at the minutes. And will someone make a motion to approve the minutes of March 17th?
I make the motion to approve.
Okay, a second?
A second.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm on the opposite side of that.
All right, Andrew,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes,
and other Chris.
Yes,
And I vote yes as well. So I guess there's only one thing left to do unless anyone has anything else to say, or you mentioned you wanted to.
I was just gonna say, the colonial revival stuff, this is 1925, the reason why. It's just so, the colonial revival, like, whole movement didn't just happen. It was coincides with 150th,
Good night, guys.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
The 150th anniversary of the American Revolution, as well as the beginning of the building of Williamsburg, which was a very, very, very big thing when it was going on. Which really pushed the whole colonial revival thing, like up to, up until the late thirties, when Williamsburg actually started getting in full swing and whatnot. And coincidentally, the chief architect of Williamsburg was from Newburyport all the time.
Oh, really?
And he designed St. Paul's Church after it burned down.
Who is that?
And I'll find the name up, and when the revitalization of Newburyport was going on in the late sixties, early seventies, he was very, very, very old, but he was kind of like an honorary chairman of this whole thing. And they looked at his advice and everything on how they should look at Newburyport. So that's that,
Well, thank you for
but
that.
I'll get you that architect's name.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're 250 years.
All right,
yeah.
how about a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. And seconded, and all present say aye.
Aye.
Nicely done.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is passed. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
We
Wow,
are.
two short ones in a row.
Time.